Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Salute to everyone who is checking in. You are always appreciated. This video will cover Screenrant's take on the rumor that Yahya Abdul-Mateen is playing Morpheus instead of Laurence Fishburne. So if this is your first time down here, or you want to know every detail about the Matrix universe, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on any future Matrix updates. So I came across yet another Screenrant article that made reference to the Matrix Online titled, "The Matrix 4 might have already explained why Laurence Fishburne isn't playing Morpheus." The title is interesting here because the Matrix 4 film isn't out yet, the movie hasn't even finished production. However, the original Matrix 4 podcast, hosted by Vesuvius, has been available for a while now. There, we discuss the different storylines from the Matrix Online in detail. I'll leave a link in the description box for anyone who wants to know more about the events that took place in MXO. In another video about a different Matrix Online reference Screenrant article on this channel, I mentioned that they curiously never seem to cite their sources when it comes to information related to the Matrix Online. So let's jump into this article and see what they have to say about this subject, because the yellow-pilled Matrixologists already know we covered this topic months ago. The article says, quote, "Laurence Fishburne hasn't been announced to reprise his role as Morpheus in the Matrix 4, and the franchise might have already explained why. Fishburne wasn't announced alongside Reeves and Moss as a returning cast member, which would strongly suggest he's not in the new movie. And Abdul-Mateen is heavily rumored to be playing a younger version of Morpheus. This raises a host of reality-bending questions, but the most pressing is why other returning characters will be played by the same actors and therefore would have also aged, while Morpheus will be played by someone else and a different, younger actor." Okay, so I already tracked down the complete timeline and origin of the young Morpheus rumor in the Where is Morpheus video here on this channel. Of course, the link will be in the description for anyone who needs to get caught up there. The article goes on to say, quote, "Among the various significant events that took place inside the game was the death of Morpheus, who is murdered by a mysterious killer. The game's plot sees Morpheus get riled up by the machine's refusal to return Neo's body, and he begins causing trouble in the Matrix in response, before being struck down by a program called the Assassin. If the Matrix 4 retains the Matrix Online as part of the official franchise canon, then the death of Morpheus provides a clear explanation as to why the character would need a new actor in the upcoming movie." This article brought up the Assassin and the death of Morpheus in MXO, but failed to mention the way in which Morpheus returns in the Matrix Online. I go into more depth about the details of that event towards the end of the Meeting with Morpheus video here on this channel. The article goes on to say, quote, "Since he died like a regular citizen, Morpheus probably couldn't return so easily. Consequently, Neo and Trinity may need to bend the rules of the Matrix somewhat and dig up an earlier version of Morpheus to help them in their latest quest, since the original is no longer around." Pause right there. I have no idea where that last part came from, or what led to those conclusions. I cannot co-sign to the idea that Neo and Trinity will be on a dig-up young Morpheus hunt, and there surely isn't anything in the Matrix Online to suggest that this is going to be how things will play out in the Matrix 4. I'm guessing what they meant by stating Morpheus died like a, quote, regular citizen was their way of trying to say Morpheus died inside the Matrix. However, in the Return of Neo and Trinity video here on this channel, I explained that we already see both Neo and Trinity die inside the Matrix and then both get resurrected in the original Matrix trilogy. Trinity's death is the true wild card here because she is the only one of those three who died while not being plugged into the Matrix in Revolutions. The article continues to say, quote, "It would certainly be strange if the Matrix 4 did acknowledge the plot of the Matrix Online, since the game not only ended prematurely, but was released a whole 15 years ago. However, Morpheus reportedly being played by a brand new actor lines up surprisingly well with the events of the Matrix Online. And the game answers key questions fans are asking about the character's return. However, the Matrix 4 must also take into account that a very small percentage of its audience will be familiar with the online game's story, and Morpheus' death will still need to be explained on screen." End quote. So that very last section right there really drives home the point of the thumbnail to this video. A very small group of people know how things went down in the Matrix Online. There were only about 300 active users when the game went offline. I don't know where the author of these articles gets their Matrix Online summaries from, but I can guarantee that sharing the source of that information would be appreciated. Not only by whomever provided the information, but also the audience members who want to dig deeper on their own and discover their own conclusions. Which is why it is such a pleasure for me to be able to share all the stories and experiences with all of you here. I share all the links out of respect to the original sources, but also so that you can check things out for yourself. For over a decade, the Matrix Online was virtually ignored, yet the Matrix 4 hype now is very real. So I've been putting a lot of time into getting you all caught up on anything you might have missed. Sharing articles like these remind me that even though this channel does not have a lot of views or tons of traffic, you are getting the absolute best Matrix Media related news and information right here, all in one place. Quality over quantity. So remember where you heard it first. Support the channel by sharing these videos on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, or with other Matrix fans you know. And remember, as one realizes that one is a dream figure in another person's dream, that is self-awareness.